Aloha, ahi ahi kako, Evelina Maimeke aloha, aloha. Welcome to Honorable Mayor Richard T. Bissen's 2024 State of the County Address. Mahalo for taking the time to join us for this special event. My name is Makalapua Kanuha Bangkako, and I am pleased to be your mistress of ceremony for this evening. At this time, I would like to welcome Deputy Managing Director Keanu Lauhi for the introduction of guests. You can clap now. Mahalo.
Maybe don't clap yet, wait till I'm done. Aloha and good evening. Yeah? Oh, thanks. Yes, my name is Keanu Lauhi. I'm the Deputy Managing Director for the County of Maui. It's with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you to the 2024 State of the County Address. Unfortunately, Managing Director Josiah Nishita is unable to join us this evening. It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt welcome and aloha to our distinguished guests and dignitaries. If you are here, please stand and be recognized when your name is called. Representing Governor Josh Green, who is out of state, is Makana McClellan from the Office of the Governor. And we welcome Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. Representing U.S. Senator Brian Schatz is Dale Hahn and Mike DeHelig. Representing U.S. Senator Mazie Hirono is Seidine Ota. And with us here tonight is U.S. Representative Jill Tokuda. And we'd like to recognize State Senator Troy Hashimoto, Senator Angus McKelvey, and representing Senator Lynn DeCoit, Guy Danley. We'd also like to recognize State Representative Kyle Yamashita, Representative Ellie Cochran, Representative Mahina Poi Poi, and Representative Tyson Miyake. And we welcome Office of Hawaiian Affairs Chair and Maui Trustee, Carmen Hulu Lindsay. With us this evening are members of our County Council. Council Chair Alice Lee, she's back here, and Council Vice Chair Yukilei Sugimura. We'd also like to recognize Council members Tom Cook, Gabe Johnson, Tasha Kama, Tamara Paulton, Keani Rollins Fernandez, Shane Senensi, and Nohe Uu Hodgins. And thank you to our Hawaii mayors who are here with us this evening. From Oahu, Mayor Rick Blangiardi, Kauai Mayor Derek Kawakami, and Hawaii Island Mayor Mitch Roth. We are also grateful for our partners who have played a key role in our emergency response. The Adjutant General of the State of Hawaii Department of Defense, Major General Kenneth Hara, FEMA Regional Administrator Bob Fenton, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Colonel Eric Swenson, EPA Incident Commander Jenna Mannheimer, and from the Red Cross, Assistant Director of External Relations, Mary Simpkins. We also welcome 11 of our Lahaina youth who will be traveling to Japan to participate in a program sponsored by the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii. They will be exchanging ideas with students and community members of Miyagi, Japan, to learn recovery lessons from the Great East Japan Earthquake and Tsunami of 2011. Will these students please stand and be recognized? We wish you safe travels. Mahalo for joining us for the 2024 State of the County Address. Makalapua.
Mahalo nui. Mahalo, Deputy Director Lauhi. Next, please join me in welcoming Ekela Crozier, Kaniopio Crozier, to offer our pule for this evening.
Aloha kākou, e ho'omalu kākou, pule kākou. Au hea oe Yehova ka mākua kua ka makua aloha oe ka mākua hākua aloha Yesu Christo. Kia kua oe ana kua ke li o na ali a me ka hākua na hāku. E ola na nau I ho me ka mau ai ka mauloa no. Kia kua oe na me apau. Nau nui ike ina mea pau mako ike oe I ki nohi a I ka hopena I loko ki o la mauloa. Nole ina kia kua. Ia mako kaupo I kaua ako ko mai ni. E ho'olohe I ka ako mea o Maui nui. Olu olu kia kua nau noe kanu I ko aloha ko loko mai kai. I loko o mako a pau. I hike mākou ke ho'olo he pono. Me ka nā au haa, me ka nā au pē. Ai olu ke kua nau noe, ala ka I ko mākou mea, I ke ala hele kūpona I ki ahi. I hike ai ke hoa kaka I kona manao. I nā mea pau I hana ia mamaui nei. O iai he makahiki piha I hana like ole, e malama ai. I nā kanaka, malahina, e nā e kia koa, ale mala e hena wale no. Mana wahi like ole o Maui nui, a I molokai, a I lanai, a I ka ho'olawe, a I malalo o kona malu. No leila kia koa, no he haani vau ia oe, launa mai kou uhane he molele me mākou ki ahi. I puka pona na mea pau. Ai ka hopena o ki ia hanana ki ahi. Nau no hoi mai e mako. I ko mako ahi home me ka palikana. I loko ka maluhia. Mena mea paua mako e lohe ai. I loko ko mako nā au. I hike mako ke hapai ai. I ke kalana o Maui. Ia oe vale no. No leila kia kua. Ho mai kai mako ia oe. No ka ho ako ko ana mai e mako I ka iho ho kahi. No ki ia ahi. Maka ino ka haku Yesu Christo ka mako ho'ola ka mohai aloha. Amene. Yesu pu.
the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Haiponoi, nanai komoi, kalane ali, ke ali. Makualani e kameha, meha e na kaua e pale. Makua. Makua lani e kaumea. Neha e na kaua he pale. Me kaki he.
Honor guard, post colors. Left, face. Forward, march.
Mahalo, thank you. You may all be seated. Mahalo. We just want to say mahalo to our Maui Fire Department color guards for being with us here this evening for the posting of the colors. Mahalo to retired Battalion Chief Luis Pine Romero and our Lahaina resident, Wilmon Kamounu Kahayali'i for their lending of their beautiful voices to our program tonight. So mahalo nui. So this next person this wonderful person, very outstanding, well accomplished, and he's probably going to say, why did you say all that? Because he is. We believe we're very proud of him, basically putting Maui on the map. But, we had some conversations, and he said, there's only 3 people who can get me out of Kahiki Nui. And one is Mama. Yeah, nobody mess with Auntie Le. And the second one is his other mama, Hoku. Yeah, Auntie Hoku. And the third person is the mayor. So we just wanted to say mahalo to this wonderful person who is so giving and loving. And he too is an alumni of Lahaina Luna High School. So with that said, so at this time, please welcome Hula Halau Kealo Okamaile under the direction of Kumu Keali'i Rachel and Kumu Henohea Kane. So please, family, a round of applause for Cousin Keali'i Rachel. Mahalo.
He aloha no, he aloha la, aloha e na Hawaii. Mai Hawaii nui o te awela, hai te o nene e o ni iau. E ia ho I o Maui la, pui ai te ala lokelani. A he lani nui o la haina la, ka he lai ho tahalawai. Vai vai Maui ai ta ui te lai, ta vai ta huli o te auho. Tuno o malai ta maala, nana pu'uno ai a te avaiki. Aiki apu ai avai ne ela, I ta hele o nati ni motulai. Fuana ia me te aloha pau o lela, uana ni o lele ua kaula na Hei no ano lele. Makokau. Ai, api I holo au, pa. Api I holo noho au I tawele lau lima o kamakani. Kani ko ke kala ahu haku ko ke I taula lena. No tawa I o talena te aloha e vale ai ta malulu kukui. Tui limata ua e te hoa I taua uki o kanahele. Hele lua tuli ai tanu Hoe mua hoe pono I te alaloa. A he loa kapili na tupa Pili pa apu ia e te aloha. Ha ina ia mai tapu ana No kawa I o kalena la hei no ai. Hei no ai. Api I holo au. Api I holo noho au I tawele lau lima o kamakani. Kani ko ke kala ahu haku ko ke I taula lena. No tawa I o kalena te aloha e vale ai ta malulu kukui. Tui limata ua e te hoa I ka ua uki o kanahele. Hele lua tuli ai tanu Hoe mua hoe pono I te alaloa. A he loa kapili na tupa Pili pa apu ia e te aloha. tapu ana e no kawai o kalena la hei no ai hei no ai hei no ano kawai o kalena. I am going to pay for that tomorrow. Aloha kako. Pehea? Okay, mai kailo. Let me catch my breath a little bit. So, I decided to do two different chants for this evening. The first one was written back in the 1980s, when I was probably, I think 26 or 27 years old. And it takes us to that moku of Lele, yeah? And it greets all those who come to that space. And it's a huaka'i, visual huaka'i from Mala, all the way through Front Street, all the way to Moku'ula. I felt that this evening it was important to honor those spaces, although sometimes those places don't exist anymore. In chant and in song, they still exist. The second chant, all the way across to, I don't know what side we're facing, but over there someplace, to the place called Pi'iholo. I wanted to honor Upcountry, for lack of a better word, yeah, because they too were affected by the fires. And so putting these two chants together for me was important, so that we recognize all of those vahipana that are important to us. Vahipana, sometimes when you look it up, it says a storied place or a sacred place. But you also have to remember that vahipana is a place that pulsates, pana, like a beat. Yeah? And so we have to remember those beats for those specific places, so that those places live on for generations to come. Okay, now that the 62-year-old body is kind of all settled, you know, I haven't been on this stage in like 6 years. I did 20 years of kukahi in this building, and I don't miss it. But it's lovely to be here. Mahalo ya oko for coming. So this next song, some people don't know that I actually come from Lahaina. I was raised there. And although I haven't lived in Lahaina for almost 50 years, there are many, many things that remind me of my childhood, and this particular song especially. So for those of you who know the Lahaina Luna alma mater, if you know, you can sing along if you like. You can put your hand over your heart. You can stand up, especially if you're from Lahaina Luna. But for me, Lahaina will always be a part of the landscape of my childhood, of my early teen years, and then especially through high school. So if you know this mele, if you know the pane or the echo, please join me, because I'm not Jekyll and Hyde. I can't do both. Okay. Malulu olele no eka oi na tualono nani e kukila kila me kaua kili kili hune a ohalona ho opului ke o kapalai ho opului ke o kapalai o kamalulu olele Nā tualo no nani e. Mahalo. Me ka ua kili kili hune. Ho o pulu i te oho ka palai. Ho o pulu i te oho ka palai. O la haina luna nani ka hoku hele ho I o ka pakipika I pukukui a mau pio ole I ka makani ka ua haulai ahu I anu tawai mau ka vai piula ta o e nene he I te au moe o lue au na manu o kauka veli ho olono I ka leo pele kani ho olono I ka leo pele kani hoian ahu I anu tawai maukai ka o e nene he I te au moi au na manu o kauka ho olono I ka leo pele kani ho olono I ka leo pele kani la haina luna nani ka hoku hele ho I o ka pakipika I pukukui a mau pio ole I ka makani ka ua haulai I ka makani ka ua haulai I ka makani ka ua haulai Ke aloha nui au koupaka ai apau. Mahalo.
Mahalo Kumu, thank you. Mahalo to Halau, Kealo Okamaile, and of course, Kumu Keli'i Raichel for such a beautiful performance. And just imagine, this alma mater of the oldest school west of the Rocky Mountains, 1831, is being sung all over the world now. So thank you, cousin. Please, another round of applause for Kumu Keli'i Raichel. Mahalo nui. And now, I would like to introduce Maui County Council Chairwoman, the Honorable Alice Lee.
Aloha. Aloha, everyone. It was nice to see Keli'i Raichel. He and I used to work at KMVI Radio. Pili ia oi. So welcome, everybody, and I can see my good friend, Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke in the audience. Thank you so much for coming. And Representative Jill Tokuda, and all the honored guests from the legislature, from the mayors, everywhere, and of course, my colleagues, my favorite people that I fight with every day, the Maui County Council. People don't realize how hard the council works, and we spend long hours trying to help everyone in Maui County, but especially those on the west side right now. Now, despite my extremely youthful appearance, I have actually worked with six different Maui County mayors spanning 40 years. Now, I understand Kuhia Lewis is in the audience. Kuhia, could you raise your hand? Oh, he's not here tonight. Oh, shucks. Well, I'm going to talk about him. Okay. Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement, Kuhio Lewis. Anyway, believe it or not, the reason why I look so youthful is because of the tips he gave me. I eat healthy, I exercise, and then I get plastic surgery. Just like him. Like he had it twice, so he looks younger than me. But needless to say, I've introduced numerous public officials on countless occasions. But for the life of me, this time I struggle to figure out how am I going to do this introduction. After scouring copious notes from the past, trying to find something profound or inspirational to say in my introduction, I couldn't find anything. But then I did what any creative writer would do. I Googled introductions. And you know what? That didn't work either. So finally I tried ChatGPT. For the birds. Eventually I realized, as someone once said, the most important things are the hardest to say because words diminish them. How true that is. Now, our next speaker is not going to give us an ordinary address. These are not ordinary times. The tragic events of August 8th, 2023 changed our lives and upended our world as we knew it. But in the next few moments, we are going to find out how we will be able to navigate our way through the rough waters ahead. As we chart our course of action, we will face tough decisions on complex, costly, and even at times divisive issues. But we must all commit to doing one thing, and we must stand for each other. We must commit to that. And one more thing, we must stand with our mayor. Because he is our navigator, the one to steer us toward calm and clear waters, to a place where we can achieve recovery with dignity and hope and a renewed sense of security and community. Together, we will arrive safely to the shore once again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and warmly welcome the Honorable Mayor Richard T. Bissen, Jr.
Mahalo, Council Chair, for those very gracious words and introduction. Lieutenant Governor Luke, members of the Senate and the House, Chair Hulu, Carmen Hulu Lindsay, members of the County Council, members of the Royal Order of Kamehameha, Ahahui, Okahumanu Society, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and braving this weather today. My aloha to Governor Green, who could not be here this evening as he's traveling to Japan to seek additional housing solutions for us. To my ohana, Kaihi, Sabo, Nohi, Apo, Jason, Mark, and of course our precious grandsons. Mahalos to Mayors Blangiardi, Mayor Roth, and Mayor Kawakami. These three gentlemen have not only extended their support and genuine aloha to me and my administration since taking office a little over 14 months ago, but even more since then. Along with Governor Green, Lieutenant Governor Luke, and many other leaders in this room, I'm truly grateful for their compassion, and care over the hardship we have faced and the challenges that lie ahead. I want to also acknowledge our county's past mayors. I didn't check the audience before if they're all here, but I wanted to thank Mayor Alan Arakawa, Mayor Kimo Apana, Mayor Arakawa, Mrs. Arakawa. Mike Victorino did send me a note. He wasn't able to be here today. He had to travel. So aloha mai kako, velina mai, pakahia pau, mahalo, nokahele ana mai. So greetings to everyone, to all of us. Welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for again braving the weather tonight. I'm here to report that the state of our county is heartbroken. I'm going to do this. We are heartbroken by the loss of 101 of our beloved Ohana and the 2 who remain unaccounted for. We honor them tonight and continue to offer our prayers for comfort and peace to their loved ones. While our lives have changed forever on that tragic day, our most difficult days cannot be compared to the profound loss endured by the families and loved ones of those whose lives were lost. We're heartbroken by the over 12,000 people who lost everything. Our mothers, our fathers, sisters, brothers, and yes, our kupuna and keiki. Our people and our historic lahaina will never be the same. But with this heartbreak, I'm happy to report we are healing as well. Out of this tragedy we will rise together, stronger, more resilient, and committed as a community united in not only our rebuilding, but our regrowth, as Chair Lee so eloquently put it. The sentiment was evident as we joined together as a community to walk 4 miles side by side on January 20th in a sign of unity. So just over a year ago, I came before you. I described our county's time of kipuka. It was a time we were faced with the challenging terrain that the pandemic had paved. We eagerly anticipated our future with renewed optimism and looked forward to embarking into a time of new growth and prosperity. We started the year with a commitment to inclusive government, bringing our Holomua Kako drop-in center to our remote communities of Molokai, Hana, and Lanai. This effort offered residents accessibility to all county resources, and our administration met with employees at various county facilities and local organizations. Each visit included an evening talk story to hear and learn from our residents. Early in the year, we broke ground on the long-awaited Kahana well to provide a much-needed additional water source and to improve reliability to the county's water system in West Maui. The long-awaited Kulani Hako'i High School in Kihei officially opened last fall, welcoming 139 freshmen and sophomores. This was all made possible through the collaborative efforts of a temporary certificate of occupancy approved by the county and indemnified by the governor. Our Office on Aging and Kaunoa Senior Services continue to care for our kupuna. They delivered 130,000 meals, provided 7,000 rides, facilitated adult daycare to 130 of our loved ones over this last year. Our scrap metal programs retrieved 1,000 abandoned vehicles. And through the efforts of our programs, of 4 programs in Hana and 2 on Lanai, 330 tons of metals were cleared from our aina. We began construction to upgrade our 62-year-old War Memorial Gym to a Category 3 hurricane shelter that will open in 2025, feature air conditioning, a new gym floor, bleachers, and restrooms. In an effort to address traffic congestion in South Maui, my administration secured a federal grant for $25 million to move forward with the long-awaited North-South Collector Road project in Kihei. And last year, the temporary road closure due to rock falls in the Alalele area of East Maui greatly affected the daily lives of the people of Kipahulu, Hana, and Kaupo. I want to recognize the diligent work of our Department of Public Works for their expedited response, and mahalo the residents for their patience as we stabilize the cliffside. Only 7 months into our new administration, August 8th, 2023, became a day none of us will ever forget. Everything changed on that day, and overnight, life as we knew it was no more. It was a day that challenged our fortitude, and shook our foundation in the face of unimaginable devastation and disbelief. The only thing that was certain is that we would not stop until our people and our island were made whole once again. So my heartfelt mahalo, palena ole, to all of our emergency responders for their bravery and steadfast focus on their mission as Maui took on 3 major fires that simultaneously threatened Kihei, severely damaged Kula, and destroyed Lahaina, stretching our fire and police departments to their limits. As my staff and I supported the Emergency Operations Center, we knew that life-saving emergency crews and personnel from county, state, and federal departments were at the forefront of the crisis as it unfolded. Countless heroic acts took place during the wildfires, resulting in many lives being saved. The bravery of police officers Cameron Pupunu and Calvin Don, who saved 15 people trapped in a coffee shop during the wildfire. Firefighter Tanner Mosier, who quickly took action to clear an escape path and retrieve a vehicle, rescuing 7 of his fellow firefighters. The actions they took that day were selfless as they put themselves in harm's way to secure the safety of others. It saddened me and deeply to learn that Officer Pupunu himself lost 4 family members in the wildfire. So many lost so much on that fateful day. Yet it becomes a part of our healing process to acknowledge the glimmers of hope that arose from the ashes. Hope that is embodied in the acts of courage of these 3 brave men and of many other individuals whose actions that day preserved the lives of many of our people. We are honored this evening to have Officer Cameron Pupunu, Officer Calvin Don, and Firefighter Tanner Mosier here with us this evening. Gentlemen, could you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, sir. I would also like to call attention to the unwavering dedication of our 911 dispatchers who recently received well-deserved national recognition in Washington, D.C. as recipients of the 2024 911 Honor Award for their work during the August wildfires. Taking 4,500 calls on that tragic day with their own dispatch staff, losing loved ones, some with their own children working in Lahaina during the fire, they continued to serve our community in its time of tremendous need. Please join me in thanking our dispatchers and all our emergency responders for their outstanding work. Some of them are here this evening. Our team representing our 911 Dispatch Center, please stand. Emergency Services Dispatch Coordinator, Dablin Ricadio. They're right over there. Melia Johnson and Kathy Hiramoto. Mahalo and congratulations. 76 of our own county employees lost their homes in the August wildfires. In an instant, they became both survivors and emergency response workers. They continued to work to support the county's operations and recovery efforts even as they faced the uncertainties and struggles that all survivors have contended with. They're in all ranks of our police force and our firefighters, among our parks, public works, and planning departments. They are employees of our Department of Water Supply and even in our Emergency Management Agency. With the loss of Lahaina Town, I felt early on that Lahaina would need a voice beyond government. An advisory team representative of Lahaina residents with different expertise, ethnicities, and deep roots to the heart of Lahaina was established. This team helped us quickly navigate through the myriad of needs, challenges, and community issues. As volunteers, their twice-weekly meetings have generated swift, valuable insight and feedback essential to recovery and rebuilding efforts. I'm honored to have 2 of our 6 advisory committee members with us tonight. 1 of them lost a family member, 3 of them lost homes, 5 are Lahaina Luna alumni, 4 were business owners, and all are deeply connected to their community. Please stand and be recognized, Kaliko Storer and Rick Nava. Let's see where Kaliko is. And due to prior commitments, Archie Kalepa, Kim Ball, Nestu Ugali, and Lorile Digama were not able to join us for this evening. The incredible perseverance and strength of our people were undeniable as the days unfolded after August 8th. When we look for examples of a community in action of what resiliency looks like, we can point to the community hubs and the people of Lahaina that sprung into action, providing essential food and supplies in our parks, garages, office spaces, parking lots, and cul-de-sacs. Mahalo to Micah Kane and his amazing team from Hawaii Community Foundation for their incredible support in the establishment of the Maui Strong Fund that has raised $187 million to support immediate and long-term recovery needs for Maui. Under the leadership of Kuhio Lewis, by the way, he sent Mehana Haing tonight with this beautiful lehulu, mahalo to Kuhio and Mehana. The Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement has been at the forefront bringing solutions to the table. Early on, they launched the Kāko'o Maui Fund, then established the Kāko'o Resource Center to help victims navigate relief resources, opened the Maui Distribution Center in Kaka'ako to process goods and donations directed to Maui, started the Host Housing Support Program to connect displaced survivors with host families, and launched, yes, the Kāko'o Maui Workforce Development Program. They are also developing housing on county-owned vacant land at Maui-Lani for survivors, and quickly pivoted in 47 days to host the annual CNHA conference right here on Maui, right in this facility, to help boost our economy. A special mahalo to Nick Winfrey of Maui United Way. Immediately following the wildfires, Maui United Way distributed more than $7.8 million in direct cash payments of $1,000 to nearly 8,000 fire-impacted individuals. And provided, thank you, yes, and provided more than $500,000 in grants to 44 local grassroots organizations for immediate post-disaster support. Mahalo to Michael Capone and his team at Global Empowerment Mission, who have committed $15 million in aid for short and long-term housing options and opened the Westside Distribution Center, which to date has provided over 30,000 food and supply kits to survivors. I'd also like to commend the amazing work of Chancellor Louis Hokoana, the University of Hawaii, Maui. He and the chef Hui, in their collaboration to produce over 50,000 meals for same-day delivery to wildfire victims, feeding thousands of survivors in the aftermath of the fires. I must also say mahalo to all the amazing nonprofit organizations that answered the call to support emergency needs, including Jen Karasha of Common Ground Collective, Dean Wong of Imua Family Services, Sue Sadeki of Kahale Akeola, Debbie Kabibi of Maui Economic Opportunity, the Maui Food Bank, and many, many more. Thank you for them. As the fires were still raging, immediate care was needed for the several thousand visitors, along with our own residents, who needed to be evacuated from danger and sheltered in facilities out of harm's way. Our community rose up to meet the challenge, and hundreds of residents began showing up to help in any way they could. There were countless acts of aloha, the extent of which we will never fully know. There is one example I would like to share with you as it highlights the valiant efforts of so many ordinary citizens in one of our darkest days. It took place at Maui High School, where evacuees from Kula, Kihei, and Lahaina were seeking shelter. With a wildfire on the south side of Maui approaching our emergency shelter at the Kihei Community Center, we had to move quickly to transfer Kihei evacuees to a safer location. As a result, we sought out the Maui High School gym in Kahului. With no Red Cross personnel available until their arrival on August 9th, and as hundreds of vehicles arrived at the gym, Maui High School's principal, Jamie Yap, with the help of athletic director Mike Bond, took on the extraordinary responsibility of opening the gym and assisting over 1,000 evacuees. Principal Yap worked through the night, troubleshooting needs, doing what he could, and ensuring the gym remained available. I've also learned that Principal Yap helped cook breakfast along with my wife, Kaihi, on the morning of the 9th. I would like to thank Maui High School Principal Jamie Yap for his compassion and aloha. And yes, he was my business law teacher in high school. Mike could not be here tonight, but Principal Jamie Yap, I understood what's here. I don't know if I saw him tonight. Oh, you see him? Hey, Jamie, did you stand when we asked you to stand? Okay, sorry, I missed you. Thank you. In the early response phase, there was an overwhelming sense of urgency in all of our efforts. Just as our community sprang into action, help from our government partners began flowing in. At the height of the response, we had over 1,000 personnel on island supporting our county team. It's been truly humbling and inspiring to receive help from men and women from so many federal agencies, state departments, and the counties of Hawaii Island, Kauai, and Honolulu, who all sent personnel to address multiple capacities. Consulates from around the world and delegations from Native American tribes reached out to us with offers of help as well. In the first hours when the magnitude of the disaster was still unfolding, the United States Coast Guard rescued and recovered many people from the ocean. Despite vessels exploding in the water, thick and toxic smoke choking the air, the Coast Guard relentlessly searched the offshore waters for any survivors. We owe a debt of gratitude to the Coast Guard personnel and to all first responders who put their lives on the line to save others. Others who came to our aid included teams from California's Santa Rosa, Sonoma, and the town of Paradise, along with Colorado, who themselves all survived devastating wildfires. Members of the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, also known as CAL FIRE, deployed 67 personnel to support incident command needs. And the use of specialized search teams sent by 5 other states, averaging 95 members per team, so 450 personnel, and a total of 46 search dogs, were crucial in searching for missing loved ones. As we began to set up a joint information center, dozens of communication officers arrived from different county, state, and federal agencies to support our team. Pacific Disaster Center rapidly started producing detailed maps and infographics based on numerous data points on the fires and available resources. With the help of a capable local vendor, we quickly deployed the first few pages of what is now an extensive online resource with information on all aspects of recovery. This website, mauirecovers.org, now contains over 400 pages and is designed to support survivors and our entire community as we move through the complex recovery process. To this day, our county communications officers collaborate daily with public information officers from FEMA, EPA, and the United States Army Corps of Engineers. Our departments have also relied heavily on support from subject matter experts, engineers, and hundreds of personnel from the National Guard. Other federal agencies that have staffed checkpoints, helped design facilities, and shared best practices with our county staff and leadership. We are fortunate to also have had support from our United States Senators Schatz and Hirono and U.S. Representative Case and Tokuda, as they have advocated for us in the halls of Washington, D.C. And we were honored to have President Biden visit Maui on August 21st to personally deliver his commitment in support of our recovery. Also, a special mahalo to Honolulu Councilmember Esther Kia'aina, who could not be here tonight, for her statewide leadership in organizing a Hawaii delegation of leaders to advocate federal partners for wildfire recovery support in Washington, D.C. A very special mahalo to Governor Green, Lieutenant Governor Luke, and our state legislators for their continued support and commitment throughout this difficult time. Our government's response and support assured us that we were not alone. At the county level, I'm extremely proud of my cabinet and administration for their unwavering support, their sleepless nights, and the countless acts of courage. To this day, they continue to go above and beyond time and time again. Many have taken on additional responsibilities far beyond the scope of their usual role, simply because the need was great and time was of the essence. One Lahaina-based employee, Public Works Supervisor Mike Tihara, exemplifies just how amazing our county workers are. As Lahaina became isolated with cell towers down, widespread power outages, and dangerous fire conditions constantly shifting, Mike Tejada traveled through the area to take my satellite phone to stranded residents huddled at the Maui Preparatory Academy to enable them to call their distressed loved ones. Mike was also the one who took charge of setting up the Lahaina Civic Center as an emergency shelter. Even as the homes, give me 1 second. Thank you, patients, for this mamaki tea. Someone offered me a cup or something to put it in they thought was more appropriate, but I said, no, I'm going to just drink it from here. I promise this is mamaki tea, everybody. Mike set up that emergency shelter even as the homes of his own family were being. Let's just get to it. Mike, are you here? Is Mike Tejada here? Okay. He's probably busy helping someone. Even as his own family's homes are being destroyed. Mike also continues to provide public works updates at our Lahaina community meetings. I just want to extend a mahalo to Mike. This is much harder than it looks. We also want to recognize the actions of Koa Heva Heva, our Deputy Director of the county's Department of Agriculture, who led efforts to establish an urgently needed emergency shelter at the War Memorial Gymnasium. This is a kuleana he took on without being asked, utilizing his own ohana and friends, demonstrating his initiative and leadership, which I believe is a true testament to his parents in raising a responsible ku kanaka. Is Koa here tonight? Stand up, Koa. Our prosecuting attorney, Andy Martin, took charge of the unenviable critical operations of the center that collected and coordinated the DNA samples and the testing to help identify our victims. Through his work, he found ways to quickly coordinate our county efforts with the state of Hawaii, the FBI, and our families with missing loved ones. Another daunting task was evacuating 12,000 residents and visitors from the west side that was led by my administration, including Mark Takamori and Kawanoi Batangan of the County Department of Transportation, as well as Zeke Kalua and Pono Asano, who organized the pickup sites and deployed 43 buses to transport everyone to safety. Nice hand for all four of those gentlemen. I'd like to recognize Chris Lalo and my executive assistant team of his wife, Cynthia Lalo, Lox Abraham, and Kaya Madaris, who all jumped into action to provide immediate emergency relief and support. They quickly mobilized Parks and Recreation staff under the leadership of Deputy Director Shane Dudois to stand up the first donation drop-off location in the early morning of August 9th at War Memorial Gym, where donations poured in from all over our island. With the road into Lahaina still closed, they mobilized dozens of truckloads for transport by sea and air. Through the support of volunteers from multiple county departments, David Ward, Ben Whalen of Maui Trailer Boat Club, Pacific Rail Foundation, Captain Blake Moore of the Terralani, along with Captains Patrick Laughlin, Rod Nichols, Joel Stinton, and Sam Matthews piled food and supplies into numerous vessels at Ma'alaya and began their parade commute, running critical supplies to West Maui. The very next day, in partnership with the Ritz-Carlton, the county opened its first food distribution location in Kapalua, serving close to 600 cars in just 4 hours, which continued until we opened our next distribution location at the Lahaina Gateway. This hub remained open for the next 2 months, hosting 2,200 county and community volunteers. This led to a statewide food and supply distribution effort championed by none other than Lieutenant Governor Luke. Chad Buck of Hawaii Food Service Alliance, the CNHA, the Hawaii Food Bank, and the county that brought 1 million pounds of food and supplies in the first 5 days following the fires and 16 million pounds total in the months to follow. In the following weeks, my team coordinated the launch of additional food distribution locations at Queen Kahumanu Center through the support of Shan Tsutsui and his Mahipono team, the Central Maui Distribution Hub through support of CNHA, and partnered with Upcountry Strong to serve Upcountry Maui. I would be remiss if I did not mention the many ways that Councilmember Tamara Paulton has tended to her community of Lahaina and the greater West Maui district she calls home. Day after day, with many sleepless nights, Councilmember Paulton showed up for her constituents, securing supplies, cooking meals, sharing her home, and her aloha with them at every turn. She and Upcountry Council member Yukile Sugimura have worked tirelessly in extremely challenging circumstances, offering comfort, support, and help to their communities. Can we thank both of them and all the council members for their help? So as mayor, I've witnessed firsthand the incredible efforts of our county ohana, the silent heroes who have dedicated themselves to the betterment of their community recovery efforts, protecting our people, keeping the water flowing, protecting our precious resources, and tackling extremely complex issues. Many lessons were learned and are still being learned, but one thing holds true. It will take relationships, resources, and resilience, and a collaborative effort between community and government. 29 weeks have passed since the Maui wildfires. We have completed the clearing of all 26 Kula properties that were impacted by the wildfire, and we are already working to review and approve submitted permit applications for those Kula landowners. We know that the vast majority of Lahaina survivors desire to remain in West Maui in interim housing while we rebuild Lahaina. With combined efforts from the county, state, and FEMA, several key housing projects are moving forward, anticipating the addition of 2,000 units. FEMA's Kilohana project will offer 169 modular homes in Lahaina, with an additional 250 proposed at Kaanapali 2020. And the state's Kalai'ola project will also bring 450 temporary housing units to the west side. Other projects being planned by both FEMA and the state will provide the desperately needed remaining units and will be expedited through design and construction. Housing remains at the forefront of our efforts, and we cannot look away from the glaring reality that losing even one more family is one too many. To that end, I have directed my cabinet to focus on the return of residents to their properties by prioritizing the restoration of critical infrastructure in Lahaina. Housing projects like Kaiaulu Kupuohi and Kaiaulu Kukuia on the west side are advancing, and once the expedited permitting office begins operating next month, we expect to see more progress. I've also redirected community development block grant funds of over $4 million toward the acquisition of 8 units that will provide permanent, safe, and affordable rental housing opportunities for kupuna who have been displaced by the fires. The complexity of infrastructure repairs will place extraordinary financial pressure on the county. Recognizing the need for assistance, I have sought out support from Governor Green and the state legislature for an appropriation of approximately $150 million for fiscal year 2025. To date, the county has invested $8 million to support interim and permanent housing programs. On March 25th, I will deliver the fiscal year 2025 budget to the council, requesting $75 million to provide housing and other prioritized needs for wildfire survivors. After conducting a complicated reentry process for thousands of residents and business owners, we are in the debris cleanup stage for over 2,000 parcels using 21 teams working 7 days a week and have cleared 311 parcels in approximately 60 days. We've recently announced the selection of the Central Maui landfill as the permanent disposition site for over 400,000 tons of ash and debris from Lahaina. The location was selected with guidance from over 2,700 responses to our community survey and an extensive assessment by our administration. As promised, once the site at the Central Maui landfill is completed, debris temporarily stored at the facility at Olowalu will be safely transported. I introduced Resolution 24-57 to the Council, seeking to authorize the eminent domain for the acquisition of the lot adjacent to the Central Maui landfill to expedite the construction of the permanent disposition site. This property is critical to continuing expedited efforts to move debris out of Lahaina, allowing residents to regain access to their property. The Office of Recovery is in full activation, forming 6 teams to focus on key areas of recovery, housing, infrastructure, community planning, health and safety, and natural and cultural resources, as well as economic development. These 6 teams meet regularly and involve representatives from county, state, and federal agencies, as well as subject matter experts and non-government organizations. One of the most intense and complex efforts involves the daily coordination of infrastructure work. I want to extend a heartfelt mahalo to all who work behind the scenes in our Public Works Infrastructure team, led by John Smith and Jordan Molina. Mahalo, gentlemen. With the support of the EPA, the Department of Environmental Management, you want me to repeat that part again? My friend Mahia. The Department of Environmental Management cleared debris from 90,000 linear feet of wastewater lines in Lahaina. This will assist us in prioritizing needed repairs in order to provide wastewater service to those still affected within the impact zone. EPA is also continuing to support our Environmental Management Department with providing a county wastewater collection system in the Wahikuli subdivision. This will allow those who rely on cesspools to finally tie into a county-owned sewer system once completed. Ongoing disaster response efforts such as debris clearing and containment while preparing and planning for near and long-term projects that will bring roadways, water, sewer, utilities, and telecommunications to impacted areas have required a massive undertaking. In parallel, we must also ensure that county operations continued uninterrupted for all districts on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. An Office of Recovery drop-in location will be opened in the next few months in Lahaina. This will give residents a place to get regular updates and information on our rebuilding progress. Under the leadership of Josiah Nishita and Keanu Lauhi, the Office of Recovery is steadily progressing and gaining momentum. Still, there is more work to be done in keeping the community informed and engaged. Since November, my administration has conducted 34 community meetings in Kula and Lahaina, weekly Lahaina meetings attended by 200 to 300 survivors, and 14 intimate talk story sessions that provided the opportunity to sit with and listen to 280 survivors. Their stories are raw, they're emotional, and they exemplify the trauma that survivors are working through, as well as the hardship and reality they continue to experience. Forward path for all of our county, even as we explore every way possible to help our people heal. We also look into the past to examine the traditions that have sustained generations before us. As seen in the design of tonight's visuals, the beloved ulu plant serves as a reminder that ancient Polynesian voyagers brought ulu both as an important food crop, but also as a valuable natural resource. Its history of providing sustenance and resiliency through the centuries reflect our journey here and now. Ancient voyagers planned properly for their journey and made deliberate preparations for uncharted oceans and unseen lands by including ulu on their va'a. We too must prepare for the years ahead as we navigate uncharted times, recovering from the impacts of the crisis, the rebuilding of Lahaina town, and meeting the needs of neighborhoods and businesses across Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. Our budget staff and department teams have been working hard to balance the needs of our current crisis with the needs of county-wide operations. Again, while we are seeking an appropriation of $150 million from the state and anticipate federal reimbursements for our disaster response costs, our proposed budget seeks to provide vital and reliable services to our residents and is also focused on recovery and averting future disasters. Fiscal stability and resiliency are crucial now more than ever as we balance short and long-term needs and take steps to bolster our economy weakened by the disaster. Once again, I appreciate the support of Governor Green and Lieutenant Governor Luke, members of the Senate Ways and Means Committee, the House Finance Committee, our congressional delegation, and our county council for their diligent support of our efforts to ensure our community recovers and rebuilds from this tragedy. I am happy to report some good news. The county has managed to retain its excellent bond ratings even after the fires. The county's financial management and condition after the fires was reviewed extensively by Standard & Poor's and Moody's rating agencies, and they provided the reassuring news that the financial outlook for the County of Maui is stable. Many of us don't necessarily think about our county's bond ratings when we wake up in the morning, but I can tell you all of this is big news for us all. Only the politicians are happy and laughing. It means that with our high credit rating, the county can continue to qualify for lower interest rates when we need to issue bonds to pay for large capital projects. This lowers the cost of the project significantly and translates into much better use of our taxpayer dollars for other things besides paying interest. With housing at a historic crisis level, and with rents skyrocketing far beyond reasonable affordability for our people and worsening our island's crisis, I am prioritizing actions to increase housing units, rent stabilization, and taking action on short-term rentals. Short-term rental units, now classified as exempt under a ruling known as the Minatoya exemption, will be undergoing a policy and legal review from my corporation counsel as we seek more options through our island's existing inventory of housing. I will also, thank you. I'm hoping to get that kind of support at the council. I will also be reversing a 2011 internal policy regarding pursuing anonymous short-term rental complaints. I've instructed my planning director to pursue all complaints regarding illegal short-term rental properties, regardless of whether the complaint originated from an anonymous or named source. Rental increases, especially for people renting on a month-to-month basis, have risen extremely and dramatically. This in turn has caused many local families to leave our islands. The situation has grown even more dire since the August wildfires. I will be submitting legislation to the County Council to implement rent stabilization procedures that will address escalating rent costs in Maui County. My proposal is intended to bring relief to thousands of our residents who face growing insecurity of having a roof over their head for themselves and their families, and to help bring stability to our community's great need for housing while fairly balancing the needs of rental property owners. To increase our housing inventory, I've directed my team to move forward with necessary steps in support of allowing accessory dwelling units on properties and to urgently prepare for both interim and long-term housing development. To further assist with the rental housing needs, the 175-unit Hagai Institute building in Kihei will be purchased by the state's Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation. Yes, it will be. This will be leased to the county for use as affordable rental units. 25% of the total units are set aside for teachers and will add to Maui's inventory. Jamie, was that from you? In the next fiscal year, the newly formed East Maui Water Authority is expected to begin operating as a department. We will also welcome 2 additional departments established as a result of charter amendments passed by voters in 2022. The Department of Oiwi Resources and the Department of Housing will be established in July. We are building our community. Thank you. Yes. We are building our community disaster resources by growing our county-run Citizen Emergency Response Team program, also known as CERT. And our planning department, together with our Maui Emergency Management Agency and fire and police departments, are examining existing evacuation routes, not just in Lahaina, but in a number of areas. I've also approved the addition of 29 positions in our Department of Fire and Public Safety. These expansion positions will undoubtedly increase overall firefighting capability across our county and enhance the fire department's capacity to respond to future large-scale emergencies. These added positions will also expand our ability to assist our fellow counties should the need arise. We are in the process of rebuilding MEMA with the renewed leadership of retired Maui Fire Department Battalion Chief Amos Lonokailua Hewitt. I have approved the addition of 6 positions, including staffing for Molokai, Lanai, and Hana, which is currently there is no staffing there at all, for increased response. Like many other employers, the county continues to face a serious shortage in our workforce, experiencing over 700 positions vacant through our departments. By the way, to my directors, we are no longer going to take employees from each other's departments. We are going to take them from the other counties and the states and the federal government, since they're here. I was just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm pleased to announce a new initiative called County as a Campus, launching this year, that will bring teens to experience the different career opportunities right here in their hometown. Thousands of high school seniors on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai start their post-high school life by deciding to stay in their hometown to work or continue their education at a local college or university. This program will provide incentive to keep our young kama'aina on Maui, serving the community they love. We will do everything within our power to return our residents to their homes in Lahaina and Kula. We will not stop working until each and every survivor is returned to a place they can call home. This is my personal commitment to you. We will continue to build trust, and I hope by extending grace and compassion. It will take strength, courage, and faith to keep moving forward, but the foundation of that will be in how we care for one another, always leading with aloha. The courage, resolve, and resilience of our people can be seen in the eyes and heard in the voices of our Lahaina Luna football team, who may not have made it to the Division I championship game, but they did make it to the Super Bowl.
Let's go, bring it in. Hey, look at that. You guys did this. You guys brought them out. So let's go out there and remember what we are and who we represent. Everybody got it?
Let's go. That's our family. This is all our family over here. Right? They care for you guys. You guys is Lahaina, bro.
It's not about a place. It's about people.
We'll rise above these tragic events, and everybody will come out much stronger than they ever did before, and that's all we can ask for.
While we know we will rebuild our structures, our ultimate goal is to restore the heart of our community. I will leave you with the words of my brother, former managing director Kekua Kana, who sent me this today, not intending for me to include this in the speech. It was intended for me. But he paraphrases Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12.
Mahalo nui. Please remain standing for the exit of our royal societies, Ahuhui, Ka'ahumanu, as well as our Royal Order of Kamehameha. Mahalo nui to all of you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Our kupuna, our kaya ulu, and our island of Maui, and our distinguished guests, mahalo nui. And please drive home safe. Aloha.
I'm going to do this. We are heartbroken.
I eat healthy, I exercise, and then I get plastic surgery. Just like him. Like he had it twice, so he looks younger than me. But needless to say, I've introduced numerous public officials on countless occasions. But for the life of me, this time I struggle to figure out how am I going to do this introduction. After scouring copious notes from the past, trying to find something profound or inspirational to say in my introduction, I couldn't find anything. But then I did what any creative writer would do. I Googled introductions. And you know what? That didn't work either. So finally I tried ChatGPT.